Why are people so drawn to werewolves, do you think?
I don't know. It's the same thing as these classic monsters. It's the same thing with vampires or Frankenstein's monster. There's something about that character that we relate to, that the idea of transformation. I mean, you want to see that transformation. That's the thing. You want to see how a human can turn into an animal.
People are always interested in supernatural things. So the fact that a man or a woman or human could turn into an animal is terrifying. And I think that's always going to have people's interests.
Well, I mean, I think the reason why there have been a good amount of movies about them, but they're all very different, is that I think the character of Wolfman or a werewolf, whatever, it's just a good vehicle for any allegory or theme you want to, it's a character that is very obviously changing, it changes. And that's a very simple theme, but you can sort of inject whatever sort of other theme or allegories into that, you know what I mean? And I think in this movie you have themes of disease and generational trauma and loss of communication with your loved ones and stuff like that. So you can use that and sort of make your own spin and story on it, which I think is cool.
And what were some of the challenges you faced? Because, it is in a contained location, and it seemed to be a lot of practical effects. So how was it for you experiencing all that?
You always want it to be like a real moment, and then the camera to capture that. And I feel like the practical makeup really made that easier.
That must have been so wild to see him when it was all done.
It was crazy, and I could not, the first day, I could not stop looking at him. I was like, yeah, and I was always discovering something new. I'm like, oh, that wasn't there. That was there the other day, but I didn't see it. Like, it was, and it was almost more creepy because I could still recognize him in certain ways. But he looked like something was very wrong with him.
Yeah,
I'm like, you should go to like a doctor, babe.
And you guys have like so many practical effects too, like
all of them,
even with that truck thing. How was it setting all that up?
It took so many weeks of prep. And then seeing it happen there, it was incredible. Like every crew member delivered to a level that I was like, at some point I was like, this is really gonna happen. And it just did. They just figured it out, and it was fantastic.
I like having those restrictions because you have to act with it. So you're a lot of those scenes we're sort of hanging sideways a lot of time. Yeah. That's also very uncomfortable.
I was gonna say.
But the uncomfort helps because I'm angry. I'm angry for being in a harness for that long. So it helps with my frustration and my desire that the character really wants to get out of it. So actor and character met perfectly there because I really wanted to get out of it too.
If someone can hear what I'm saying, please help. Hello? Hello? That's you.
What do you think about this film is going to really resonate with audiences?
I think it's going to resonate of how it talks about family, and like I think that the horror movies that really work are the ones that are like very grounded in reality. And I know there's a wolf in it, but I feel it's part of the family. Yes, so I think that's what really is going to scare people. Like this could, quote unquote, happen to you.
So how was it working with Christopher and Matilda to like build up that family dynamic?
Well, there was like a lot of rehearsal, or there was a lot of, discussions, and with Leigh and Chris and I and Matilda a bit. And, Matilda's so great in this film, and Chris is fantastic, and he's great in everything. And so it was, I don't want to say it was easy, because it wasn't an easy shoot, but I was very lucky to work with great actors.
What drew you to this story specifically, and why did you feel it was important to bring it to screen?
Leigh Whannell.
That's fair.
That's exactly what it is. I trust him implicitly. He is a true filmmaker, and like he could say we're doing whatever, and we're like, okay, I guess we're doing it. So yeah, I've done Upgrade, Invisible Man, and Wolfman with him. So
that is right. So you're going to be by his side.
It better be
essentially for the rest of the life.
Yes.
Leigh lets you kind of play, but also for certain shots, especially visually, he wants certain really specific things, and I like that. I like when you have to kind of be very technical sometimes. You know what I mean?
And he's so creative.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a classic piece of folklore. The human that turns into an animal at night. If you can make it scary, not every vampire movie is scary.
It's true.
Not every werewolf movie is scary. It's all about the filmmaker and their approach. I was like, what if I can really fill this movie with dread and make it tragic? That was my goal.
Okay, so I have to ask, was there an unintentional saw scene?
I wouldn't say it's unintentional. I would say, it's all in there. It's all part of the mix.
Okay,
you know what
yay.
I mean? It's a good full circle moment. When I look at the landscape of what's working, the substance, Longlegs, these are movies that are really outside the box.
Yeah.
And it seems to me the lesson that I take away from that is big swings are what get people into theater, not playing it safe.
Thank you for watching, and thank you to our sponsors and Patreon producers for making this video possible. Hit the subscribe button so the creepy fun never has to end. This is Hannah reminding you to keep it creepy.